Hello, this is Fighting Vipers for PS2. Specifically, that would be the, what's it called? It's called Sega Ages 2500 Series Vol.19 Fighting Vipers. I'm running it in the emulator called PCSX2 in Windows. I'm playing it again because I want to compare it to Fighting Vipers 2. So I'm going to play through arcade mode as Bahn again. I've changed my options. This is weird. So there's 3 screen mode types. The default is type A. It's got borders around all of the sides. Type B enlarges it so that it is the full height of the screen, but it's still the same aspect ratio. You see how it just gets a little larger. And then type C stretches, wait a second. Yeah, that's right. Type C stretches it vertically. So you can see how like the logo gets stretched out vertically. So type C is a 4:3 aspect ratio. That's the old, SD aspect ratio of everything, basically. Type A and B are weird. They're actually the screen ratio is 3:2. It's 3 times. It's 3 units wide for 2 units tall, I guess. Although it's actually not quite 3:2. If you divide the height or the width by the height, it's actually 1.509. 1.5 would be 3:2, so it's it's like a pixel or 2 wider than 3 anyway. So that's a weird aspect ratio, and I tried looking up. Okay, and so this is Sega Ages 2500 Series Vol.19. Volume 16 is Virtua Fighter 2, which also ran in the arcade on the same hardware, the Sega Model 2 arcade system, and or arcade board, or I don't know what they called it anyway. And Virtua Fighter 2 has the same screen options and the same 3:2 aspect ratio by default. And I tried looking on the internet. I tried Googling for what is this 3:2 or 1.519 or whatever aspect ratio, and I could find absolutely nothing about it, at least pertaining to Sega games, Virtua Fighter, Fighting Vipers, anything like that. So it's kind of a mystery to me. Like, even the screenshots on the back of the game cases, they're not in this aspect ratio. They're, I think they're 4:3. No, they're 1.29. So if you take the actual pixel size of the screen of Sega Model 2, and I think Model 1, was 496 pixels wide by 496 pixels wide by 384 pixels tall. And if you divide 496 by 384, that's 1.29. So that was the aspect ratio in just if the pixels were perfectly square. And these games were both also ported to the PS3, and there they do run in 1.29 aspect. You can't even set them to a 4:3 aspect ratio. You can only pick between 1.29 bordered, 1.29 full screen height, and then just stretching it to the full, like, 16:9 modern HD screen size, which is goofy, but they let you do that in that one. So they completely abandoned this 3:2 aspect ratio that they are going with here. And yeah, like, it's not even the back of the case is showing 1.29 for these PS2 games. So and you can't pick anything that's 1.29 in the PS2 games. It's either 3.2 or 4.3. Now, if I Google translated the manual, the part of the manual that talks about this screen mode setting and this 3 screen types, and what it says, according to Google Translate, is Type A, a screen that displays images with the same resolution as the original Model 2, 496 width by 384 height. Type B, a screen that enlarges and centers the Type A image while maintaining its aspect ratio. So that's what that does. And then the Fighting Vipers manual is a little more explicit about it. The Fighting Vipers manual says Type AB has the same aspect ratio as the arcade version. So they're saying that the arcade version ran at this aspect ratio, this 3:2 or 1.509 if you want to get specific. But I can't find it. I looked up like video and photographs of arcade cabinets, but I couldn't find any really clear ones of Japanese arcade cabinets. Not from back in the day. I did find some of US arcade cabinets from the 90s, and those looked like they were running in 3.2, but I didn't get a real clear, or not 3.2, they looked like they were running in 4.3. If you run these ROMs in MAME runs them at 4.3, but MAME kind of runs everything at 4.3 for the most part, so maybe that doesn't say too much. If you run the VF2 ROM in the Virtua Fighter 2 emulator, which is pretty old these days, but I think still fairly well regarded, that runs them in 1.29. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like, I don't know where this 3.2 comes from, and I sure wish I did. But, yeah, I just couldn't find anything about it at all. I couldn't even find anybody discussing it, in this game, about this game. Like, why is it 3.2 in this game? So I don't know, but I'm just going to go ahead and pretend that, despite everything else not talking about this resolution, I'm going to go ahead and pretend that since the manuals for these games say it's the arcade screen ratio, that is correct, and these are the only versions of these games in existence somehow that actually have the game at the correct resolution. Isn't that nice? Let's just pretend that's the case. So here we go at our 3.2 screen resolution. I'm going to go with Bahn again. I wonder if I push up in Virtua Fighter 2, if you hold up while you push a button, you get their 2P costume. I did not. Still got the 1P costume. 2P's got the 2P costume, that punk. I sure hope I left this on easy difficulty. Because I just want to get through this and kind of get a feel for it again, and then go into Fighting Vipers 2. Well, the other thing is that at the end of the run a couple days ago with Bahn, I was obsessed most of the time with trying to do his flying uppercut, which is an actual like 2D fighting game uppercut move, like in Street Fighter, but it's really hard to do in this game. Oh my gosh. But what I found towards the end of the run the other day is that, I accidentally did a flying uppercut, is that you can just be really cheap with Bahn's standing uppercut, which is just down forward punch. And you can, if you get them against the wall, you can just hit them with that multiple times. And even if they're not against the wall, it pops them way up in the air and you get a pretty easy additional hit. That was bad. So, there you go. So that was the only way I could kind of beat the last two characters. Well, maybe I could have got Jane without that, but it would have been kind of tough. And then the boss, BM, He was just beasting on me. Ouch. So you notice all these dithering effects. There's dither patterns on like the puffs of smoke that come out when characters are hit. There's like the shadows on the ground here. That shadow, not the character shadows, but the shadows from the cage. Those have dither patterns in them. Those are not in the arcade version. I don't know if I guess the arcade version supports true transparency and this port did not or something. But yeah, it's something. Oh, well, what they're also in that predated this was the Saturn port. The Saturn port has these dither patterns in it. So maybe they just got the idea from the Saturn port that it was easier and lower, maybe lower CPU cost just to go with that. Okay, see this truck coming? It's got like a pole dancer graphic on the side. Gosh dang it, Picky always gets me. In the PS3 port, there were no Pepsi trucks. See the truck over on the right here, which you couldn't quite see there, and most of the trucks driving by are Pepsi trucks. It also says Pepsi on the underside of Picky's skateboard on his back. Those Pepsi logos are not in the PS3 version. And in this stage, I'm not sure what's on the underside of Picky's board. Gosh dang it, Picky. Let's see, the billboard is Pepsi here. They're replaced with like Sega. There are Sega trucks in this, but I think there's more of them in the PS3 ones. There certainly aren't any Pepsi signs. And there's the Sega truck. And yeah, like the truck that's parked next to this truck stop is just the pole dancer logo, which is an interesting choice. Oh, out of bounds, Picky. Go visit the Pepsi truck and get a pick-me-up. I mean, he must be sponsored by Pepsi, right? He's got a Pepsi board. Oh no, what are you doing, Bon? Oh, God. Forgot about the power blow. Oh, come on. Oh, jeez. I failed my combo anyway, but still, the timeout was... Oh my gosh, Picky. Ugh. I hate Picky so much. I broke his armor off, but... Oh wow, that did so much damage. I just like critical Picky. Picky's dead. Scraps of his armor outside the fence. Even the snake logo there on that round one overlay has the dithering pattern on it instead of a transparency effect. Which, again, was like in the arcade version, from what I see of videos anyway. It did use actual transparency, and the PS3 version used transparency. But the Saturn port did not. The Saturn port had dither stuff. Just like this, except lower resolution. Ow! Oh, nuts. I should have done a power hit. That takes a lot more work. Oh! Kablam! So yeah, the way to go with Bon in this, if you want to win cheap, seems to be the standing uppercut. And if you're not good enough at the flying uppercut, there is an actual double flying uppercut move. This port improves upon what they did with the Virtua Fighter 2 port in Volume 16 in a number of ways that I noticed. For instance, you've got move lists that you can bring up for the characters. Volume 16 Virtua Fighter 2 port does not have move lists. You can also toggle between running the game in 57.5 frames per second or 60. The Model 2 hardware runs at 57.5. Virtua Fighter 2 does not have a FPS setting. What it makes a big deal on the back of the box in Japanese, saying that the game, you know, it says something like enjoy 57.5 frames per second action or something, and then it says in a little tiny note that you know, your television still runs at 60, so the game inserts a frame here and there to get it to 60 frames. But not to worry, the timing of the moves is still arcade accurate. It wants to be very clear about that. Oh, jeez. Sandman is bowling. So he's into bowling and billiards, I guess. Oh, gosh. Oh, jeez. Completely trashed. Oh, just do a swim move. What? Yeah. Oh, see, I don't use a block button, and if somebody just comes right at me, that's trouble. Oh, cool. Oh, the butt bounce. Oh, the power butt bounce. Yeah, he parried everything. Or blocked, I don't know. I don't know the difference. I don't use block in this game, so I don't know what a block is. Oh, Yul Brynner saved me. Oh, no. Oh, come on.
Round one. Let the action begin. Go!
Wow, that's half his life. Gosh dang it. Oh my gosh, nice meaty, you punk. Oh no, he's gonna do something awful too. Well, Oriole's just batter me and I'll miss everything. Okay. I finally hit him with a power attack by gimmying. I forget how to do a down attack now. I'll say goodbye to your armor. Gee, shouldn't make fun of somebody being bald. That's stupid. Okay.
Round one. Let the action begin. Go!
Ow. Oh, gosh. Oh, I just fell right for that. Why did she win that? Man, that shadow is really intense. There's like in stages with glass and stuff, there's dither patterns on the glass for sort of reflection effects. There's a mirror in the intro, and the mirror is dithered, sort of show reflection type effects. It's kind of funny. Although I actually had to cut at the end of the episode I recorded a couple episodes ago with Fighting Vipers. I actually had to cut I let the intro run at the end, or well, it ran while I was blathering, I should say, and I had to cut that because for some reason Sega has a copyright claim on the intro video, not even like a music track, which is usually what gets copyright claimed, but the actual intro sequence is just video copyrighted Sega, I guess. So Sega claimed that portion of my video and completely barred me from monetizing the video as long as that intro was in there. That was weird. Thanks, Sega. I just got completely crushed. So you notice the panes of glass around this stage, they've got these sort of quasi-reflections that are dither patterns. What is the move? Oh yeah, I can do a... Oh, the Captain Kirk worked on Raxel. This episode. Oh, choppy chop. Oh my gosh, the combo. So yeah, well, I guess the other reason I'm recording this so quickly, or so soon after the last episode, is that I wanted to get a recording with the supposedly correct 3:2 aspect ratio, because I recorded the last one at the Type C 4.3. Not realizing that was, I guess, stretching the... Well, actually, let me show you. Oh, I can't change it here, can I? All I can do is quit or pull up the move list. Alright, never mind. But once you compare them back and forth, it does feel like the 4.3, the characters are a little too skinny and stretched vertically, you know? It's not enough that you notice it on its own. But it does seem like they feel a little buffer, at least. Although, see that globe in the background? Maybe that looks a little too wide at this aspect ratio. I don't know. You can drive yourself crazy trying to guess what's going on and which aspect ratio is correct. They said this is the arcade aspect, so it's the default setting. That's what I'm going with. She took that hit, but it didn't, like she blocked it, but the animation was her getting clocked in the head and her head going back. Oh, that was bad. Alright, Jane roughed me up last time, too. I had to get a real cheap juggle against the fence with her twice in a row to win. She's not letting me juggle her right now. Okay. Oh, well. Oh, it didn't actually hurt that much. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Shane, you beast. Oh my gosh, she's got an uppercut. What? I don't know how to use throws correctly in this game or in BF2. Oh wow. Well, good night. At least the continue is super fast. That kind of rules. Ow. She's blocking all my uppercuts. Okay. Oh man. Wow. That's me dead. What was I doing? Oh my gosh, good time to do a flying uppercut.
Round one. Let the action begin.
Oh, the action is beginning and ending with my face. That shimmy was sick. Jane, that shimmy. How did she... Wow. Bye. Oh, man. Yeah. Getting mauled. Completely mauled. Oh, she recovered and that screwed up the timing. Ow. She does air recover a lot. Oh, right into the throw. Oh, God.
Round one. Let the action begin. Go.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Dang. Please stop. She always blocks after she gets up. She blocks and then she does a power punch. my gosh, I can't move from the right-hand side. What? No, don't do a flying uppercut. Dang it. Time is up anyway.
Round 1.
Ah, man.
Action begins. Go.
Jane, you have to let me juggle you cheaply or I'm never gonna win.
Round 2. Go.
Ah. Well. Got her as she went for a throw. Ow.
Round 3. Go.
That flying uppercut is funny because she blocks it, but it like knocks her head back again. Oh, I got her with a counter on a power. Wait, she's... Oh, her whole health bar turns yellow when she loses her armor, I guess. I never noticed that. Dang it. See ya. Oh, she hit the wall and went up through the ceiling. Wow. Alright, this is where it gets really ridiculous. It's funny, I get a lot of accidental flying uppercuts from the right. They always block after they get up. Oh, that was a bad idea. Yeah, give me a chance, you jerk. Nope, no chances. No chances were given. Wow. Well, that would be why you would want to use a block button. Lunch. Good night. That throw into the fence actually does like almost 0 damage, and sometimes he doesn't follow it up, but almost 0 was enough to kill me there. Oh wow. I forgot about that move. Ow. That power punch didn't even hurt him, it just blew him back and he air recovered, but then he blew right into that kick, which did more damage than I would have thought. Shuck. Oh, come on. Ooh. I decided not to go for a kick because he knocks me out of a kick right there, so I just had to jab and uppercut and it actually hit him. So that's easy difficulty. Bond in full cheese mode, or at least as cheesy as I can manage with his uppercut juggling. Now I'm going to go try it in Fighting Vipers 2 for Dreamcast, which I also ripped and am running, or I'm going to run in the Flycast emulator, or wait, the emulator known as Flycast, that's it. Which is a pretty sweet emulator, by the way. My impression after the previous episode of playing this is that I kind of liked this more than Fighting Vipers 2, but that's why I want to play them back to back to see, because also the last time I played Fighting Vipers 2, well, the only time so far since I reacquired it here, is I was using a character I didn't really get a good feel for. Yu Suzuki presented by Sega. Yu Suzuki, is this 3:2 aspect? Is this correct? It says it's the arcade aspect ratio. Yu Suzuki, please tell me what the truth is. I can't find anything about this aspect ratio on the internet. At least not as pertains to your Model 2 fighting game, so I have no idea what's up. And when you did the PS3 ports, you didn't use it. And you didn't even use it on the screenshots on the back of the box, although those probably just come from, you know, PR people who don't care. But yeah, I can't let that run because I'll get sued by Sega. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and pretend that this is the only version of the game that's actually running at the correct aspect ratio. I mean, I like to have this little fantasy now that there's like maybe just these like super deluxe Model 2 fighting game cabinets in Japan that were running the game in these like special, you know, giant semi-widescreen 3:2 aspect ratio monitors. But that's probably, I mean, I have absolutely found no trace of such a thing. I just, it's entertaining me to imagine that that's what this was. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if they just made it up for this or what. There's just no information I could find aside from what the manual for these two PS2 ports says. It says it's the arcade aspect ratio, so, you know, you gotta believe what it says in the manual, I guess. So yeah, anyway, I like this game. It's like goofy Virtua Fighter 2, but it's also way more forgiving than Virtua Fighter 2. Virtua Fighter 2, even on easy difficulty, is just completely brutal. The AI is just ridiculous. And in this one, it's not so bad. It's pretty tough. I mean, even on easy, it's tough. But, you know, you can get through it, whereas Virtua Fighter 2, I don't even know. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go rampage, or try to rampage through Fighting Vipers 2 now, and see which of the Fighting Vipers is my favorite, because I don't really know right now. I'm leaning towards this one, but I've played this one the last 2 times since I've played Fighting Vipers 2, and I've only played that once, so I gotta go hit that up again. Thanks for watching. And I guess if you want to see, check out the next episode, which will be Fighting Vipers 2. That's it for now for this episode, though. See you later. Oh, by the way, Bond's name apparently is, well, I don't know if it's actually supposed to be his name. At one point somewhere, the internet says, they don't say where, he apparently referred to himself as Gengis Bahn III. So Gengis Bahn III is what he wants to be known as, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe he was just joking. I don't even know what the context of that was. But that's what all the wikis say. So, you know, that's the most extensive name that I know. Everything else just says Bahn, B-H-A-N, Bahn. He's got to have more to his name than that, right? So, oh, but it's not Genghis spelled with an H, G-E-N-G-H-I-S, as in Genghis Khan. There's no H, so it's G-E-N-G-I-S, which is interesting. I don't know if that was an unintentional typo or what, but yeah, so Gengis Bahn III triumphed again with his cheesing of people with his standing uppercut and a few accidental flying uppercuts that mostly comes out when he's on the right-hand side and is very confused because he can't do them at all from the left, more or less. Genghis Bahn is... I'm just gonna stop right there. See you later, or see you next episode with Gengis Bahn III returning and fighting Vipers 2. Yeah, baby. Does that mean he'll be Gengis Bahn the... That wouldn't mean anything. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay, there was something else I forgot to mention that I messed around with. So in PCSX2, the color in the previous episode, I don't know if you noticed, but the color of the game was a little dark and washed out, and that's just the game, how this PS2 port looks, and I messed with it to try to get it not dark and washed out. So if you go in the PCSX2 menus, settings, game properties, and it's just going to change it for this one game by going to game properties, graphics, post-processing. Then under post-processing, there's a parameter called shade boost. So I have it off at the moment. I didn't have it off when I played through just now as Bond, but right now it's off. So with it off, you'll notice that the color is kind of dark and a little washed out. If I enable it, so now it's using these settings that I've chosen. The defaults again were 50 for all three of these, but now I've set, I messed around with it until I kind of got it looking as good as I could. So for me, that's brightness 62, specifically in this game, brightness 62, contrast 51, saturation 52. So with those settings and shade boost enabled, when I unpause this, you'll see the color shift. So there, so I unpause the emulator. So it's a lot brighter and more vivid. So that was just the other tweak I did, aside from, you know, switching to the Type A 3:2 aspect ratio. I also boosted the color and tried to get rid of that dark and washed out look to the game's default graphics on PS2. And fortunately, since I'm running it in an emulator, I can actually do that with this shade boost setting in PCSX2. So I thought that was handy. And I only thought to do that. It's not that bad without it in fighting Vipers. It was really bad in Sega Ages 2500 Series Vol.19, the Virtua Fighter 2 port. That port's color is totally washed out. It looks like you're playing in a dust storm or something. Everything is just kind of a light gray, except for like pure black and red, and those kind of just come straight through the washed out effect of everything else. It's really bizarre looking. And it's like, it's kind of like they just took the Model 2 hardware's output and didn't bother adjusting it for a home TV like default setting. Like they figured, well, in the arcade, the arcade operator just adjusts the color, the three color balances or however many color balance knobs there are on their arcade monitor and get it just how they like it. So that's what the home users can do. It's authentic. I don't know if that's what they were thinking, but it's pretty shocking looking. And so fortunately, I was able to I found that shade boost thing, and that fixed up Virtua Fighter 2, the PS2 port, pretty good. And it came in handy to a lesser but still nice little extent for fighting Vipers 2. So that was it. Shade boost, woohoo! So with shade boost and the Type A 3:2 aspect ratio, I guess it's looking about as good as I could get it. So there you go. That's all I wanted to add there. Thanks. See you later.